I just changed from laptop to phone. My microphone is not working there.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Could you able to see my window?
Yes, ma'am.
Hmm? So Teams window is there. Fine. See, last session I have given you introduction on effective stress, and we defined effective stress and how effective stress varies with capillary rise and seepage. And more than that, to do the problems and to solve the problem, always give emphasis not to simple formulae. Learn from the derivation. Then only whatever the concept and however the problem is constructed, you could answer better. Fine. So now we will derive how your effective stress get affected with the water table fluctuation. So effect of 1 minute. So effect of water table fluctuation on effective stress. So I'll be using the notation sigma dash for effective stress throughout the session. Okay. So now consider your soil profile as such. So this is your ground level. So this is your ground level. Wait, someone is asking me for permission. I'll do one thing. I'll give host control to Chandu, or who else is having better net connection, better internet connection. Who is using Wi-Fi?
I'm
Hello,
using Wi-Fi, man.
Chandu is using Wi-Fi. No, no, no. Okay, fine. Let ఇంకా ఎవరమ్మా జాయిన్ అవ్వాలి? Is there anyone else to join? So ask your friends to join soon. So this is your ground surface, and just consider your soil is existing for the depth h, right? And this is your water table, and the depth of water table will be taken as h1. Okay, and here at this depth I'm going to determine my effective stress. So at the depth h we are going to compute the effective stress. See, you don't just imagine it as two lines. Just imagine here soil is present and water table is existing at this depth. So what would be the load acting at this plane? So let us name this plane as xx. So what would be the load which is acting on at this plane xx? So because of the soil whichever is present over here, so here so soil will be there, no? So this soil will act as a overburden at this plane xx. So here a load will be there, or here a stress is there. So that stress we denoted in the last session as sigma, right? And we all know that here water table is present here. So all the soil below water table will be in saturated condition. So this soil, this overburden load from the upper layer will be shared by the soil grains as well as the water present in between the soil grains. So whatever the load transferred between the soil grain is your intergranular stress or effective stress, and whatever the load taken by the water is pore water pressure or neutral stress. Kada? So s- load taken by soil, we mentioned it as a load transfer between the soil particle is mentioned as sigma dash, and the load taken by the water is mentioned by pore water pressure, and this is neutral pressure as it will not contribute anything to your shear strength. And this is effective because it controls many engineering parameters of soil. And effective stress is an abstract quantity. You don't have any apparatus to measure effective stress directly. You need to compute total stress and pore water pressure. From there you can subtract and get this effective stress. And Tesahi has given or defined effective stress as total stress minus pore water pressure and apparent. Okay, see here effective stress is total stress minus pore water pressure. Shall we define the direction of effective stress and pore water pressure? See, at this plane, if I draw separately, your effective stress will be acting in the downward direction, because of which your soil is also compressed when the load is being applied, right? So your effective stress is acting in the downward direction, whereas your water pressure or your neutral stress will be acting in the upward direction. Okay, so your total stress is in the downward direction, and your water pressure is in the upward direction. That is why your effective stress is the net resultant of total stress and pore water pressure kada. So sigma minus u, since sigma is a very large quantity and the unit weight of soil is more than the unit weight of water, so your effective stress is total stress minus pore water pressure. Okay, so net resultant వల్ల ఇది downward direction లో act అవుతుంది. Okay, whereas your pore water pressure is in the upward direction, right? So now with this understanding, let us calculate the effective stress at the level or at the sectional plane xx. So xx దగ్గర ఎంత effective stress వస్తుంది అని calculate చేస్తాం. So always I follow a method of calculating total stress and then calculating pore water pressure. Then I will do a subtraction to get effective stress. So that will avoid many confusions. So total stress is equal to, so what is total stress? So the stress, whatever the entire stress acting at the level xx. So ఇక్కడ ఈ level కి పైగా ఉన్న overburden వల్ల act అయ్యే pressure. So what are all the overburden acting at this level? So here above water table the soil is in wet. You have to consider unit bulk unit weight of soil, because here the soil is not in a saturated condition. Here the soil will be in dry condition, whereas here underneath the water table your soil will be in sub saturated condition. Okay, so here the soil is in saturated condition due to the presence of water table. So here this is h1, right? And let me define this height as h2. As someone was asking me on that class, always start from the ground surface and end at the level where you wish to compute the effective stress. That will be easy. So kinda nunchi ellakuddu, because it is from the ground surface up to this level how much ever the overburden acting, right? So gamma into h1 plus, here the soil is saturated, so take saturated unit weight into h2, right? Latashree, could you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, my screen is okay for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. So this is total stress. Let us, total stress is done. Now let me calculate the pore water pressure at this level X6. So what is the pore water pressure? So if I insert a piezometer at this level, okay, how much will be the rise in water level inside the piezometer? ఎంతవరకు రైస్ అయ్యిద్ది? So inside the piezometer, the water level rises up to this height of H2. ఎందుకంటే దీని తర్వాత వాటర్ టేబుల్ లేదు. సో వాటర్ లెవెల్ విల్ నాట్ రైస్. సో ఇక్కడ ఉన్న మొత్తం వాటర్ ఈ పీజోమీటర్ ఇన్సర్ట్ చేస్తే దాంట్లో లెవెల్ రైస్ అయ్యి చూపించింది. ఓకే, సో your water load or your pore water pressure can be mentioned as gamma W into it is acting for the height H2. Right. So let us calculate effective stress. So effective stress is equal to total stress minus pore water pressure. So gamma into H1 plus gamma saturated into H2 minus gamma W into H2. So here gamma into H1 plus, what is gamma? Here H2 is common. Let me take it out. Here gamma saturated minus gamma W is there. So what is gamma saturated minus gamma W is? Hello?
Gamma dash.
Gamma dash, submerged unit weight. Okay, so submerged unit weight. So is equal to effective stress is mentioned as gamma into H1 plus gamma dash into H2. Fine. So up to here you will be considering the bulk unit weight of soil and then multiplying it with the height. Whereas underneath the water table, your submerged unit weight into so and so depth. So some people will directly use this formula, but I suggest you to go with the pore water pressure and then calculate total stress, pore water pressure, and then subtract them. Then you can arrive at this formula. Okay. Because if you understand by the concept, whatever be the model or whatever be the scenario I describe, you can compute the effective stress. So shall we rise this water table? Because I told you water table fluctuation. So now let us consider a case where your water table is raised up to the ground surface. So if your water table is present at the ground surface. So have you completed up to here? So now we'll move on to the case 2. Fine. So now let me consider the water table is not present over here. Instead, it is present at this level. Right. And I have to calculate the same pore water pressure. So now the case is water table at the surface. So ఇప్పుడు చూస్తాం. See now, as usual, what we do first? So we will be first calculating the total stress. If water table is over here, even this soil will be in a saturated condition, right? So throughout the depth H or throughout the thickness of the soil layer above the plane XX is in saturated condition. So now gamma saturated into H is the total stress, and let us calculate the pore water pressure. So how much is the pore water pressure? Gamma W into H. So now what is the effective stress? Total stress minus pore water pressure. So Take H commonly outside, gamma saturated minus gamma W will give you gamma dash into H. Tell me, in the previous case, how much you got? See, for the same soil thickness, in the previous case, you got effective stress as gamma H1 plus gamma dash H2. Okay. So, can you tell me, Latashri, what is the previous case gamma dash now? Gamma dash is equal to, in the previous case, when you have
Gamma
got
H1,
gamma,
gamma H1
gamma,
plus
gamma H1
gamma
plus
dash H2.
gamma dash H2, right? So now you got gamma dash for the total depth. Tell me, what happened to your effective stress? Has it increased or decreased? Idini ela rayachu? See, gamma dash into H1 plus H2 and rastama. Now it will be easy for you to compare. See, here gamma will, suppose, let me assume, this is dry unit weight of soil. Let me assume this as 17 kilonewton per meter cube. And saturated unit weight is 20 kilonewton per meter cube. Right. And your gamma W is 10 kilonewton per meter cube. Just for easy calculation. తీసుకుంటాం. Okay. And tell me, how much is your submerged unit weight? Gamma submerged is 10 kilonewton per meter cube. Kada? Gamma submerged. Okay, let me don't change the notation. Gamma dash is 10 kilonewton per meter cube. So here in this case, it is this H1 and H2B, whatever it is, you can take any number, and always remember that capital H is equal to H1 plus H2. So here 10 is being multiplied by H1 plus H2, right? And what is gamma? 17. 17 into H1 plus what is gamma dash? 10 into H2. Tell me which one will give you more value, which is greater, in the first case or in the second case at the surface. For your even more better understanding, let us take this as 2 meters and let us take this as 3 meters. Now tell me, here the pressure is 50 kPa, right? How much over here? 17 into 2 plus 10 into 3. How much is the answer? 34. 34 plus 30, right? 64, right? So what happened to your effective stress when the water table rises to the surface? Water table has increased. Sorry, your effective stress has increased. Hello. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
See, when the water table rises to the surface, the effective stress increases. Sorry. When the water table rises to the surface, effective stress has decreased. So this is at the surface. So this is at surface. So this one is below surface. I'm sorry. So below surface. So which case is giving you the more effective stress? So when it is below the ground surface, you are getting 64 kPa of effective stress. Whereas if your water table is at the surface, your effective stress is only 50 kPa. So what is the impact of groundwater table on the effective stress contribution? So it is reducing the effective stress. When the effective stress reduces, we all know the relationship. So maybe for third year students, we calculate the shear strength of soil as C plus sigma tan phi. So for the effective stress condition, it is sigma dash tan phi. So when the effective stress decreases, okay, so water table rise అయ్యేటప్పుడు effective stress decrease అవుతుంది. So when the effective stress decreases, the shear strength of soil also decreases. That is why we are telling that whenever the groundwater table rises, so your structure is failing. So whenever there is a heavy rainfall and all the soil got inundated with water, so water table rises to the surface. అప్పుడు ఏమైంది? ఎఫెక్టివ్ స్ట్రెస్ ఇస్ డిక్రీసింగ్. ఎఫెక్టివ్ స్ట్రెస్ డిక్రీస్ అయితే షియర్ స్ట్రెంత్ కూడా డిక్రీస్ అయింది. అందుకోసమే హెవీ రెయిన్ఫాల్ అప్పుడు ఆల్ ది స్ట్రక్చర్ మెనీ స్ట్రక్చర్స్ ఆర్ ఫేసింగ్ ఫెయిలియర్స్. And that is the reason why we always emphasize the engineers to calculate the shear strength at effective stress condition, at effective stress, that too at fully saturated condition. సో ఎప్పుడు వర్స్ట్ కి డిజైన్ చేస్తేనే యువర్ స్ట్రక్చర్ విల్ బి ఇన్ అ వెరీ సేఫర్ సైడ్. సో కుడ్ యూ అండర్స్టాండ్ నౌ?
Yes, ma'am, understood.
Okay, ma, good. So you, in the same way, you just bring the water table below your x plane. Okay, so let me make that attempt also. So let us consider the same soil layer as so this is your ground surface, and this is your x plane. And the previous case we have raised the water table above at the ground surface, which was previously existing at the depth h1. Now what we do is, ఇది h1 అని తీసుకున్నాము, the h2 అని తీసుకున్నాము, the total thickness above x plane overall h అని తీసుకున్నాము, and here the soil will be having an unit weight gamma. And now what am I going to propose is, what if the water table getting depressed below your plane of consideration? So ila water table taggutundi. Okay, so now just compare. Shall we calculate the total stress at x plane? So at the same x plane, just to calculate how much is your sigma. So your sigma is equal to, what's the formula? Gamma into h. So here the total soil will be in a dry condition. So just to consider the bulk unit weight. It's not dry, so maybe some natural water content may be there. That's why we are taking bulk unit weight. So gamma into h1 plus h2. This is the total stress. And the next step is pore water pressure, U. So where is the water table? The water table is somewhere below the plane of consideration. There is no water present above the plane of consideration. X కి పైగా ఏం water table లేదు. So your pore water pressure is 0. So how much is your effective stress now? Effective stress sigma dash is equal to sigma minus U, which gives you gamma into h1 plus h2. So previously we have defined a few values for gamma, h1, h2 and all. So use the same notation and give a comparison. So the 2 meter and assume చేసుకున్నాం, and this one is assumed as 3 meter, and this is taken as 17 kilonewton per meter cube, right? So now 17 into 2 plus 3 is 5. And how much 17 5s are?
85.
85. 85 kilopascal. So what happened to your effective stress when the water table drops down? It has increased. So to summarize, just take this line. So when groundwater table, which is water table, rises, then effective stress decreases. When groundwater table depresses or lower down, then effective stress increases. Okay. So shall we move on to the next consideration? So this is more important. And in the end of the session, we will discuss the last problem of previous session. Okay, last gate problem which we have solved for seepage condition, upward flow. Okay, end of the session we will solve. Just remind me. So now we will see effect of effective what sorry hydrostatic condition. So effective stress under hydrostatic condition. What is hydrostatic condition? Hydro
Water
means water.
level remains constant.
Very good. So water level remains constant with the depth. Okay, or pressure in the water, water head remains constant wherever you insert the piezometer inside the soil layer. Okay, so let me draw our soil layer as such. Where could you observe such kind of static water condition? Could you give some example for a hydrostatic condition? No flow, nothing. Water level remains same. You can take example of a lake. So in a lake, there will not be any flow of water, just a stagnant water is present. So lake or pond is a good example for a hydrostatic condition. So as usual, let us consider different soil layer. So let the top depth H1 is occupied by a stagnant water. So here water is present, only water. So water is present. So underneath this, this is your ground level as usual. Okay. So underneath this, up to a depth of, let me take, since it is water, no? So to get it differentiated, let it be HW. Okay. So depth of water. So let this one be H1 and let it be H2. 1 minute, someone is trying to join. Is it so? So no one is there. Fine. So here a soil layer is present. So this is a type of soil whose unit weight, cohesion, angle of internal friction is everything is different from the below layer. So let it be soil 1 and this is, let this one be soil 2. So it will be having different saturated unit weight and this one will also have different saturated unit weight. And if you insert a piezometer anywhere in this soil layer or in this system, you will get the water level at the same position. So if I insert a piezometer over here, even then I will get the water level here. So similarly at the bottom of second layer also, if I insert a piezometer, I'll get it at the same level. Okay, so this represents a hydrostatic condition. Okay, so now as usual, do effective stress calculation. So first step is to calculate total stress. So at which depth we are supposed to calculate the effective stress. So let me take this level as AA, this section as AA. So top of your soil layer 1 is AA, or else you can say bottom of your water body as AA. So ఈ section ని BB అని తీసుకుంటాం. Bottom of your first layer and the bottom of second layer as CC. So let us compute effective stress at each and every level. So first we will take the section at AA. Okay. And always remember, above the water table, your pore water pressure is open to atmospheric. So above water table, there will not be any pore water pressure. That is why even in our previous case, we have taken, see, here in the previous condition, we have taken the pore water pressure is 0. Why? In the sense, it is above water table. So above water table, your pore water pressure is atmospheric. So in soil mechanics, we consider the atmospheric pressure or the pressure of water above water table as 0. So this concept also has to be remembered. Fine. So now let us do the derivation. So this is sigma at section AA. First we calculate the total stress. So what is the stress acting at the level AA? So which is contributing the stress at the level AA? So here the water is acting as a surcharge at the level AA. So your total stress is being contributed by the water. So gamma W, because water load is acting. So gamma W into HW. And how much is the water pressure? So U is equal to, our pore water pressure is gamma W into HW. So that is also same. So you can see that when I insert a piezometer, water level has raised up to here. So here the piezometer level is HW, right? So this is also HW. Sorry, this is not H2, it is HW. Okay, so now what is sigma dash is equal to gamma W HW minus gamma W HW, which gives me 0. So effective stress at this level is 0. So this is also a common 1 mark question in GATE. How much is the effective stress at the bottom of a lake or bottom of any stagnant water body? So they describe a problem in that way, in any indirect fashion, and they will ask you to compute how much is the effective stress at the bottom of this level. Okay, so always remember this. Now we move on to the next section, BB. As usual, compute total stress. So B la act as soil MM, start from the ground surface and end up to BB. So your water is computing a pressure. So gamma W HW plus, because of the thickness of soil layer, H1 into, here it is below the water table. So all the soil over here will be in a saturated condition. So take saturated unit weight. As we have two varieties of soil, I use a suffix 1. Saturated unit weight of first soil into H1, thickness of that soil layer. So what is your pore water pressure here? So here pore water pressure is see here the inside the piezometer, the water level has raised up to here. So how can you divide that height? So HW plus H1, no? So your gamma W HW plus gamma W H1 is there, or else gamma W H1 plus HW అని డైరెక్ట్ గా రాసిన రాయొచ్చు. Okay, so what is your effective stress? So subtract these two things. So if I subtract them, these two will get cancelled. Okay, so only the second term will exist. So gamma saturated of first soil minus gamma W into, take the H1 commonly outside. So your effective stress is, what is gamma saturated minus gamma W? Is gamma submerged of the first soil to H1. Okay. So at BB, this is the effective stress. Okay. So now move on to the second level, CC, or the third level. So below your second soil layer. So just see, your total stress is gamma W HW plus gamma saturated of first soil into H1 plus gamma saturated of second soil into H2, right? That is your total stress. So let me write it at the down. So your total stress is gamma W HW plus gamma saturated of my first soil into H1 thickness of first soil and gamma saturated of my second soil layer into H2. This is your total stress. So let us calculate pore water pressure. So for calculating pore water pressure, first write down the unit weight of water and see your piezometric level. So in the piezometer, 1 minute. So in the piezometer, which is inserted at the bottom of soil level 2, first up to your water level HW undi. So first soil layer H1 plus H2 is there. So your total water head could be taken as HW plus H1 plus H2. So as usual, your effective stress చేసేటప్పుడు gamma W HW ఉంది, ఇక్కడ కూడా gamma W HW ఉంది. So those two things will get cancelled. Here gamma saturated of first soil minus gamma W H1 అని వస్తుందా? In the same way, take H2 commonly outside, then gamma saturated of second soil minus gamma W, right? So as usual, saturated minus unit weight of water will give me, so gamma dash submerged unit weight of first soil H1 plus submerged unit weight of second soil into H2. Just make a note of it. Hello? Shall we move further?
Yes, ma'am.
So now we have considered the water level. Water is maintaining a head above the soil layer, right? And we have calculated how much is the effective stress at the surface and how much is at the top of first layer and how much is the effective stress at the bottom of second layer. Okay, so now we will just shift the groundwater table. So groundwater table ni ekkada తీసుకొస్తున్నానంటే, see, previously our groundwater table is here. సో ఇప్పుడు నేను ఏం చేస్తున్నానంటే, లెట్ మీ డ్రా ఇన్ డార్క్ బ్లూ. నేను ఇప్పుడు గ్రౌండ్ వాటర్ టేబుల్ ని ఏ దగ్గర తీసుకొస్తున్నాను. ఓకే, సో యువర్ లేక్ ఆర్ యువర్ పాండ్ గాట్ డ్రైడ్ అప్, బట్ స్టిల్ ద సాయిల్ అండర్నీత్ ద పాండ్ ఇస్ ఇన్ సాచురేటెడ్ కండిషన్. సో యువర్ హైడ్రోస్టాటిక్ కండిషన్ ఇస్ డ్రాపింగ్ డౌన్. సో ఇక్కడ ఉన్న వాటర్ లెవెల్ ఇప్పుడు ఇక్కడ వస్తుంది. అండ్ ఫర్ దిస్ సినారియో లెట్స్ ట్రై టు క్యాల్కులేట్ ది సేమ్ ఎఫెక్టివ్ స్ట్రెస్ అట్ ఈచ్ అండ్ ఎవ్రీ లేయర్. చేస్తామా? సో now your water table is at the top of A layer. So this is AA section. And this is your BB తీసుకున్నాము. And then we have CC. And this is H2 mentioned చేసాము. And this is mentioned as H1. Okay. So this is soil 1. This is soil 2. And here is your water table existing. So this is your water table. So all the soil is in saturated condition, right? Saturated. So now the condition is water table at AA. Now, just like previous case, calculate the effective stress at AA condition. So for us, we have defined, first we need to calculate total stress and then pore water pressure. So is there anything present above this AA section? So nothing is there. So previously up for HW depth, water was present. Now there is no water. So tell me, how much is your total stress? How much is the total stress at the section AA? Is 0. And there is no water above the section AA. So this is also 0. So total is 0, and if your pore water pressure is 0, hence your effective stress is also 0. So now move on to the second section, which is BB. So at BB, how much is your total stress? So above BB plane, soil is present and it is in saturated condition. So gamma saturated into H1, and your pore water pressure US at the section BB. If I insert a piezometer, I told you that water is in hydrostatic condition. So intavaraku rise ayyidi kada. So gamma W into H1. So your effective stress is H1. I could take H1 commonly outside. So gamma dash of, since it is first soil, so manam notation తీసేసుకుంటాం. So gamma dash of first soil into H1. Okay. Now let's do the same thing for level CC. So for level CC, sigma is equal to gamma saturated of first soil into H1 plus gamma saturated of second soil into H2. Ante kada. So first soil layer to sigma and second soil layer to sigma తీసుకున్నాను total stress. And as usual, pore water pressure, if I insert a piezometer at this level, so ఇటువైపు డ్రా చేస్తాను. Okay, so let me draw here itself. So if I insert a piezometer here, okay, so piezometer got bent. Oops. Okay, whatever. So if I insert a piezometer over here, the water level will rise up to this height. So could you tell me how much is that height? So gamma W into H1 plus H2, right? So your effective stress sigma dash is equal to, here saturated unit weight of first soil is there, here here anyways unit weight of water is there. So I'll get, if I take H1 commonly outside, then gamma dash of first soil plus H2 into gamma dash of second soil. Okay, so this is the effective stress at the section CC. Now I'm interested to make a comparison. So previously water table was present somewhere over here. So now the water table has dropped down. See, just compare the effective stress at each and every plane that we have calculated in the previous condition. So previous condition ki ippudu ela undi? at AA, now it is 0. Previous దాంట్లో ఎంత వచ్చింది? Previous దాంట్లో ఎంత వచ్చింది? Did you write? Are you see in the previous condition also it is 0, and at B the effective stress is gamma dash H1. So gamma dash H1. So now also it is the same gamma dash H1 at BB, and at CC it is gamma dash of first soil into H1, gamma dash of second soil into H2. So ముందు కూడా సేమే వచ్చి ఉంటుంది. At CC it is gamma dash of second soil into H2. ఇప్పుడు కూడా gamma dash of first soil into H1 and gamma dash of second soil into H2. So what could you infer from this? Under hydrostatic condition, if your water table fluctuates, that too above your soil layer, it has no impact on effective stress. So మీ సాయిల్ కి పైగా ఉన్న వాటర్ లెవెల్ ఇంక్రీజ్ అయినా డిక్రీజ్ అయినా ఎఫెక్టివ్ స్ట్రెస్ మీద ఇంపాక్ట్ ఉండదు. ఓకే, సో జస్ట్ మేక్ ఏ నోట్ ఆఫ్ ఇట్ అండ్ వర్డ్స్. Under hydrostatic condition, when or there is no impact of water level fluctuation or water level rise or whatever, above ground surface. So above ground surface, whatever be the change in water level, then there will not be any impact on effective stress. Okay. So next we will see seepage condition. So what is seepage?
Flow of water due to gravity.
So flow of water. So flow of water through soil, that too because of gravity. So it is not because of, it may not be because of only gravity. Sometimes it may be against gravitational force also. Okay, so force exerted by flowing water on soil is seepage force. So force exerted by flowing water on soil is seepage force. Okay, so force exerted by flowing water on soil is seepage force, and it creates a drag. And what is seepage pressure then? So this force divided by area of cross section through the plane by which the flow is happening gives you seepage pressure. So your seepage pressure, so people represent seepage pressure as PS. PS is equal to seepage force divided by area of cross section. So area of cross section perpendicular to your flow direction. Okay. So in soil, if this is a soil layer and its cross section is A, okay, and if your water flow is happening in this direction, so if this is your seepage force, so generally we represent seepage force by the letter J. So your seepage pressure is J by A. Okay, so why the seepage is happening? So what is actually seeping? Water is flowing. So flow of water is causing the seepage to happen. So the water is flowing through this cross section. Okay, so and what would be the direction of force? We all know that force is a vector quantity. So direction of this force will be in the direction of flow. So the direction of force J is the direction of flow. Okay, if your flow is in the upper direction, then J will be in the upper direction. If it is downward, it will also be in the downward direction. Okay, and here water is flowing. Okay, so how to represent water in terms of force? Hello? How to represent water in terms of force? Just convert it in the known parameters. So in soil mechanics, in relation to water, we know only gamma W. Kada? So we know only gamma W. How to rearrange this one in terms of gamma W? It's a weight, right? So weight of water which is flowing. So shall we take this as weight and let me replace it with gamma W. So weight is density into volume. So area of cross section A into length through which it is flowing. So or the head of water. So head of water is H. So gamma W A into H. So the head of flow, this is head of flow. So this is your head of flow. This is unit weight of water into area of cross section. So that forms your seepage force divided by area of cross section. So this is also same perpendicular area of cross section and this is also perpendicular area of cross section. This is head of your flow. Okay. So your seepage force is also represented by gamma W into H. So whereas you can ask me pore water pressure ki gamma W into H, seepage pressure ki gamma W into H. See, in case of pore water pressure, there is no flow at all. That is hydrostatic condition. Whereas here the water is flowing. So here the water is in dynamic condition. So you need to consider hydrodynamic as well to calculate seepage. So hydrostatic also has to be considered and hydrodynamic also has to be considered. Okay, because we are considering some flow. Okay, so gamma W into H. So generally people try to represent this seepage force in terms of hydraulic gradient. So in order to introduce hydraulic gradient into your equation, నేను ఏం చేస్తున్నానంటే gamma W into H. So what is hydraulic gradient? Head of water divided by length of flow. So here head of water is already there, length is not missing. So multiply and divide by length. So gamma W into H by L is your hydraulic gradient high and L is your length of flow. In some places they use length of soil as L and some places they represent the length of soil as Z. Okay, so gamma W you can use L or Z. Okay, so gamma W I Z. So in terms of hydraulic gradient, you can represent your seepage pressure as gamma W I into Z. Okay. So this is seepage pressure. Let us see this seepage pressure with respect to your soil. So for that, let me draw a simple setup. So here in a simple experimental setup, so inside a container, I have taken soil. Okay. And so this is my container. At this container, water table is present over here. Okay, our water is present in this place. Okay, so everywhere water is present. So this is my soil. Let me write it as soil. Okay, and the thickness of soil, I am going to consider it as L. You can even take it as that also. And the depth to which water present inside this container as H1. Okay, and at the bottom, this container is connected to a reservoir tank. So just like your permeability experimental setup, దీని ఒక reservoir tank కి connect చేస్తున్నాము, which is having a greater water level. Okay, so this is your reservoir tank, and here the water is present at this level. So let this be the soil kada. So here some filter may be provided. So let this section be 2 and this one be the first top. So top of the soil level is taken as 1 and the bottom as 2. Okay, so this section, and difference in head between top of your reservoir water level and bottom of your soil layer as H2. Okay, so could you see? So a container undi, it contains soil of thickness L, and water level is present inside the container. Okay, and the rise in water level above your soil layer is H1, and the difference between the water level in the container in this container and your reservoir is H2. So could you understand the setup? Okay, and your flow is happening through the soil from bottom to top due to seepage, because head level rise undi appudu ikkada ee rendu container ni connect chesthe emaidi, so water level from the reservoir will start flowing inside the oil. Okay, ikkada bottom nunchi paiki veltadi, so flow of water will be in this direction. So ee direction lo water flow avutadi. Okay, and this simulates a seepage condition through soil. That's why in the beginning I emphasized that flow of water may not be due to gravity alone, so it may be due to hydraulic head also. Okay, so gravity ante ఇప్పుడు నీకు హై డేటమ్ లెవెల్ డిఫరెంట్ ఉండింది అనుకో, గ్రౌండ్ లెవెల్, అప్పుడు స్లోప్ వల్ల ఫ్లో అయితే దాన్ని డ్యూ టు గ్రావిటీ అని అంటాము. డ్యూ టు సెల్ఫ్ వెయిట్ అది స్లోప్ ప్రొవైడ్ చేసామంటే ఫ్లో అయితే అది గ్రావిటీ ఫ్లో. వెరస్ హియర్ due to hydraulic head the water will be going to flow. Okay, so now let me take this soil thickness and see what are the forces acting. So this is your soil layer, and దీని థిక్నెస్ ఎంతమా తీసుకున్నాము, L అని తీసుకున్నాము, రైట్? And what are all the pressure or water pressure acting at the top as well as at the bottom? సో బాటమ్ లో ఏం ప్రెషర్ యాక్ట్ అవుతుంది, టాప్ లో ఏం ప్రెషర్ యాక్ట్ అవుతుంది అని చూస్తాం. సో లెట్ us డిఫైన్ ది బౌండరీ ప్రెషర్స్. సో టాప్ అండ్ బాటమ్ లో ఉన్న బౌండరీ ప్రెషర్స్ చూస్తున్నాము. Since it is at the top, let me represent it as U1. So and let this one be U2. Okay. So U1 soil పైకి దేని వల్ల మా ప్రెషర్ వస్తుంది? హలో, due to this water, right? So this water, it is a stagnant water. So ఈ వాటర్ తో మొత్తం లోడ్ మన సాయిల్ మీద యాక్ట్ అయిద్దా? సో let me take the unit weight of soil as gamma W. Sorry, unit weight of water as gamma W. So here the pressure due to the water existing above my container is gamma W into H1. So water is present for the thickness H1 or for the depth H1. So gamma W into H1. So what are all the pressures acting at the bottom of my container? So shall we go back? So ikkada ఏమేమి వస్తుంది? U2. What are all the pressures due to water? Water pressures matram cheppandi. Or tell me only the things which are related to hydro conditions. It may be either static or maybe due to dynamic. ఇక్కడ ఒక పిజ్జా మీటర్, 1 minute. So at the bottom of your container, your U2 is equal to gamma W. So unit weight of water. So what are all the heads over here? Hello. So H1 is there. See, water is flowing from this place to this place. So gamma W, just take the containers thing. So ikkada H1 level ki water unda. So H1 plus ikkada inka emundi, since the soil is totally submerged. So appudu L thickness ki kuda water untadi. So water pressure will be there, pore water pressure. So take that thickness L, and here because of the head difference there will be a hydraulic head. Kada? So small, let us take that head difference between this container and the reservoir as small h. So that one will also be there. Okay. So what is H2 actually? H2 is nothing but your capital H1, or let me start from small h. So your small h plus H1 plus L. So ide mi total head of your system, H2 anedi. Okay. So here U2 is equal to gamma W into difference in head level, hydraulic head, plus the rise in water level above your soil sample, which is capital H1, plus length of your soil sample L. Okay. So this is your, these two are your boundary pressures. So these boundary pressures are because of hydrostatic condition as well as because of hydrodynamic condition. Okay. So this is actually the summation of hydrostatic, okay, and hydrodynamic condition. See, hello, could you hear me? So hydrostatic and hydrodynamic conditions. Hydrodynamic ante due to flow. Hydrostatic ante because of the static head of water. So what is the static head of water above your soil layer? So head of water above your soil layer, U1. So let me use the suffix S to represent the static condition. So U1 of S is equal to gamma W into H1. So because water is being stagnated at the top of your soil layer. So U1 static is equal to gamma W into H1. So same way U1 S at the bottom of your soil level. So bottom lo nunchi em ostadi? So at the bottom, so whatever the water seeping in may create some hydrostatic condition, which is equal to, so water ekkadi nunchi amma vastundi? See, whatever the static head present at the soil level at the bottom, so ikkada container la stagnate aina water. Okay, so that is for the depth capital H1, and length of your soil is L, and this soil is in total saturated condition. So saturated soil ante ikkada kuda pore water pressure untadi. So above container kuda, above soil kuda pore water pressure untadi. So your total head is gamma W into H1 plus L. So this is the hydrostatic condition at the bottom of your soil layer. So just మనం తీసుకుంటాం కదా ఒక your very first condition. So ఇక్కడ water lake ఉన్నింది, lake పైకి water ఉన్నింది, and then you have considered soil thickness of H1, and then you calculated how much is the total stress and U. So there we consider, no, so ikkada gamma W into ఈ water depth HW తీసుకున్నాము. So HW plus H1 రెండు తీసుకున్నాం కదా. So in the same way we are calculating here. Since I used a notation H1 and L, so just take it as gamma W H1 plus L. Okay. So now let me draw the hydrodynamic condition. So what is the hydrodynamic condition? See, all the waters are flowing from the bottom to the top of soil. So ఈ టాప్ కి వచ్చిన తర్వాత వాటర్ ఏమయ్యిద్ది? It will not go anywhere. So it is totally stagnant over here. దీంట్లో నుంచి బయటకి ఎక్కడ వెళ్ళట్లేదు. So there is no flow at all after this. So hydrodynamic U1 at the top is equal to 0. So what would be the hydrodynamic at the bottom? So U1 dynamic at the bottom is because of the seepage which is happening from the reservoir. So reservoir nunchi nee soil ku water ostundi. So that is creating your seepage pressure. Aa seepage pressure enta untadi aa hydrodynamic force? Daniki enta ma head తీసుకుంటాము? Gamma W into difference in head kada. ఈ difference in head create అయితేనే నీకు flow వస్తది, and then you will get a hydrodynamic condition. So to create that flow, what head is being maintained? So ఈ small heads and a head difference two containers కి ఉండే దాని వల్లనే ఇక్కడ flow జరుగుతుంది. So your hydrodynamic head is small h. So gamma W into small h is the hydrodynamic pressure at the bottom. Okay, so gamma W into H. Okay, so this is the hydrodynamic force at the bottom. See, all the water seeps in from the bottom of the soil to the top. So ikkada వచ్చిన తర్వాత ఈ small h and head difference 0 అయిపోయింది. So after that no flow will occur. Okay, this head is being spent during this seepage. Okay, so if you summate this hydrostatic and hydrodynamic condition, then you will get all the boundary pressures. Could you see? So gamma W into H1 plus 0, and here this is gamma W small h capital H1 plus L. So can you see here H1 plus L into small h kada? So your boundary pressure is the summation of hydrostatic condition and hydrodynamic condition. Okay, so now let me just see the problem which we discussed in the previous class. 1 minute. What was that problem in the last class? I asked you to remind me, no? Oops. 1 minute. Pre-consolidation problem on distress. This problem, I guess. See, water flows in the upward direction in a tank through 2.5 meter thick sand layer, as shown in the figure. The void ratio and specific gravity of sand are 0.58 and 2.7 respectively. The sand is fully saturated. The unit weight of water is 10 kilonewton per meter cube. The effective stress at the point A, located 1 meter above base of the tank, is how much? So this is what the question we have seen in the previous class, right? Hello? Is there anyone else? Manju is
Yes,
there?
ma'am.
Could you remember this question? So now we have studied the upward flow through the soil. And what I mentioned in the last class, whenever here they mentioned it as outward, right? See, upward direction, the flow is happening. And always remember, when the flow is in the upward direction, your effective stress decreases. Whatever acting in the upward direction, always try to decrease your effective stress. Whenever anything is happening in the downward direction, it increases in your effective stress, because effective stress is a phenomena in the downward direction. Okay, so ఎందుకంటే అది నెట్ టోటల్ స్ట్రెస్ మైనస్ పోర్ వాటర్ ప్రెషర్ వేసేటప్పుడు అది డౌన్వర్డ్ డైరెక్షన్ లోనే కదా వచ్చింది, దాని నెట్ డైరెక్షన్. అందుకోసం ఏది అప్వర్డ్ డైరెక్షన్ యాక్ట్ అయినా అది ఎఫెక్టివ్ స్ట్రెస్ ని డిక్రీజే చేసిద్ది. సో దిస్ ఇస్ అన్ ఇంపార్టెంట్ థింగ్. సో హియర్, because of this 1.2 meter head difference, the water enters from this reservoir. So it may be a reservoir, just they represented it by means of water level. So from this reservoir, the water is seeping inside the soil and it is flowing outward. Okay, so ikkada upward flow ne undi, and they are asking you to calculate the effective stress. So effective stress మనం ఎప్పుడు ఎలా calculate చేస్తామో, we will first calculate the total stress and then we will be calculating the pore water pressure kada. So total stress, pore water pressure calculate చేస్తాం. So at the point A, let us calculate the total stress. So నేను ఏం తీసుకుంటున్నానంటే, instead of substituting the values, let me call the unit weight of water as gamma W, and they mentioned the sand is fully saturated. So ఈ sand ni నేను fully saturated sand అని తీసుకుంటున్నాను. So gamma sat అని తీసుకుంటాను దీని unit weight ni. So at the point A, మనం ఎప్పుడు ఎలా క్యాల్కులేట్ చేస్తాము, గామా W ఇంటూ ఇక్కడ 1 మీటర్ అని ఉంది. సో ఇన్స్టెడ్ ఆఫ్ H1 H2 కన్ఫ్యూషన్స్, లెట్ me use the number gamma W into H1, and at the point A plus gamma saturated into what is the thickness? What is the thickness of soil layer here? 1.5 meters kada, because here it is 1 meter. So below A it's 1 meter. So above A 1.5 meter. So 1.5 meter. So this is your total stress. Now tell me pore water pressure. So ikkada pore water pressure ante దేని వల్ల అంత pore water pressure వచ్చి ఉండొచ్చు at the point A? Gamma W into 1 meter, right? Plus here the soil is saturated. Appudu gamma W into up to which height? 1.5 meter. Ravacha? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So, but here the flow is happening. Appudu emaina hydraulic gradient, hydraulic head untadi kada. Here water is flowing. So this is hydrostatic conditions head. So gamma W into 1 plus gamma W into 1.5. So those two things are being addressed. Here flow is occurring. So flow అయ్యేదాని వల్ల ఇక్కడ ఒక hydraulic head కూడా ఉంటది. Will it be there? It will also be there. It will also be acting at this point. So ikkada piezometer పెడితే ఎంత వాటర్ లెవెల్ రైస్ అవుతుందని చెప్పలేదు. Whereas at the bottom of soil, if they insert a piezometer, they got the head difference between the container and the reservoir as 1.2 meter అంట. అప్పుడు at the depth of 1.5 meter ఎంత head ఉంటది? We don't know that. So for that sake, what am I going to do is gamma W. ఇక్కడ head ఎంత difference అని నాకు తెలియదు. నాకు only for total soil thickness head 1.2 meter అంట. అప్పుడు ఏం చేస్తున్నానంటే 1.2 meter head is for the thickness of soil of 2.5 meter. But I am interested to know how much would be the head if I insert the piezometer at the level 1.5 meter. So 1.2 divided by 2.5 into 1.5. దీనే లాస్ట్ క్లాస్ లో మనం ఏం చెప్పాము? h by l into whatever the depth you require. So I into z అని తీసుకున్నాం కదా. So that is why people represent their seepage pressure PS in terms of gamma W I into Z, because hydraulic gradient will be available. So how much, whatever the thickness or whatever the depth of soil, if you wish to compute seepage pressure, you can readily use this formula. So gamma W I into Z. So ikkada 1.2, because flow will be happening throughout the soil. So ikkada nunchi mottam soil lo flow jarugutundi. So appudu hydraulic gradient calculate chesetappudu nu total length of soil e teesukovali. So total length of soil is 2.5 meter. So 1.2 divided by 2.5 into I require the head corresponding to this soil layer thickness. అందుకోసం Z ni multiply చేసుకున్నాం. Okay. So this is your total stress and this is your pore water pressure. But they were asking you to calculate effective stress. అప్పుడు ఏం చేస్తాను? Gamma sigma dash is equal to, here gamma saturated into 1.5 is there. So gamma saturated into 1.5 plus gamma W into 1 kada. So here gamma W is there on all the terms, and since it is sigma dash is equal to sigma minus u kada, so anduvalla take gamma W out. So 1 plus 1.5 ఇది అలాగే పెట్టుకుంటాము. 1.2 into 1.5 divided by 2.5. సో మీరు ప్రాబ్లం గేట్ లో సాల్వ్ చేసేటప్పుడు జస్ట్ మల్టిప్లై చేసుకొని సింపుల్ నంబర్స్ గా పెట్టేసుకోండి. ఓకే. సో యాజ్ యూజువల్ gamma saturated is there. So 1.5. Here if I take gamma W commonly outside, so this is 1 minus 1 minus 1.5. Can anyone multiply and tell me how much is its value? 1.2 into 1.5 divided by 2.5. Hello? Lata Shri?
Ma'am, it is 0.72.
Very good. So it is minus 0.72 kada. So minus 1 and plus 1 will get cancel each other. So gamma saturated into 1.5 gamma W. Okay. So minus 1.5 minus 0.72. See, we are at this step. So gamma W is given there in the question. Gamma saturated is not given. So instead they have given the specific gravity of soil, specific gravity of sand, and void ratio of sand. So either you can compute saturated unit weight or else you can compute submerged unit weight. Last class we have computed both the things. So If you have computed saturated unit weight, substitute it here. Ledante submerged unit weight. So or otherwise, instead of both the substitution, you can even do it directly also. See, this is saturated unit weight. Then em cheyochu? Saturated unit weight is nothing but, so what is your submerged unit weight is equal to saturated minus gamma W. Kada? So appudu saturated ni gamma saturated is equal to submerged plus gamma W అని వేయచ్చా? So gamma submerged into 1.5 plus gamma W into 1.5 plus gamma W minus 1.5 minus 0.72. Okay, so gamma dash into 1.5. See, ikkada plus 1.5 undi, ikkada minus 1.5 undi. So both the things will get cancel each other. So we will be having only minus gamma W into 0.72, right? So even in this step also, if you wish, substitute the calculated gamma dash, or otherwise, what is gamma dash is equal to G minus 1 by 1 plus E kada? G minus 1 by 1 plus E gamma W. So ఇది calculate చేసి substitute చేయొచ్చు, or otherwise substitute this formula here and take gamma W commonly outside from all the terms. అప్పుడు ఏమొస్తుంది? So if I substitute this formula over here, అప్పుడు నాకు G minus 1 by 1 plus E వస్తుంది. Okay, and I'll take gamma W commonly outside. So అలా తీసేసామంటే G minus 1 1 plus E, ఇక్కడ మిగతా ఏముంది ఇంటూ 1.5, ఇక్కడ minus 0.72 ఉంటుంది. That's it. Okay, so now it is easy for you to substitute any known parameter. So what is G is equal to 2.7, right? So G is equal to 2.7 minus 1 divided by 1 plus E ante your E is 0.58 anukuntanu. So 1.58 and 1.5 is there minus 0.72 and unit weight of water they mentioned it as 10. So appudu okay attempt lo anni substitute chesi answer cheppesayandi. Hello? .7 into 1.5 divided by 1.58 minus
8.94, ma'am.
8 point into 1000 kada. So before substituting any value, what we need to ensure, how many decimal places are there asking. So round off to 2 decimal places. So as who told me the answer?
Latashri, ma'am.
Latashri. So as per Latashri's answer, it is 8.94 kilonewton per meter square. Okay, so this is your effective stress at that depth. Fine, and it is asked for 2 marks. So make a note of this calculations. In the previous session, what we did is we have calculated both saturated as well as submerged unit weight, but while substituting it, we did not consider this pore water pressure. Okay, that might be the mistake. Even you can calculate saturated and submerged unit weight and then substitute it in the formula, or otherwise directly do the substitution in the last step. Elagaina cheyochu, ee step lone calculate chesi kuda substitute cheyochu. Okay,
ఒకసారి పోర్ వాటర్ ప్రెజర్ ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్
hello,
yes ma'am.
ekkada ma for this problem
పోర్ వాటర్ ప్రెజర్ ma'am. yes ma'am, పోర్ వాటర్ ప్రెజర్ ఒకసారి ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్.
hello,
పోర్ వాటర్, yes ma'am, Pore water pressure,
నీ
ma'am.
ప్రాబ్లం నేనే కదా. ఓకే
Yes,
మా.
ma'am.
సి పోర్ వాటర్ ఓకే సి పోర్ వాటర్ ప్రెషర్ అంటే ఏం తీసుకుంటాము మనం ఆ డెప్త్ లో ఉన్న వాటర్ మొత్తం కన్సిడర్ చేసుకుంటున్నాము. ఓకే, సో ఆ డెప్త్ లో ఉన్న వాటర్ హెడ్ అన్ని తీసుకోవాలి. సో అట్ దిస్ పాయింట్ ఏ హియర్ వాటర్ ఇస్ బీయింగ్ ప్రెసెంట్. ఓకే, సో ఒక వాటర్ ఉంది. సో దిస్ వాటర్ ఈజ్ యాక్టింగ్ ఫర్ డెప్త్ 1 మీటర్. ఓకే, సో దిస్ ఈస్ వన్ స్టాటిక్ వాటర్. సో ఒక కంటైనర్ ఉంది, కంటైనర్ లో మొత్తం సాయిల్ ఉంది, పైగా వాటర్ నిలుస్తుంది. ఓకే, ఇట్ ఈస్ అ స్టాటిక్ వాటర్. This water is being present at the top. The soil is also fully saturated. Okay, so ఇది 1 meter anta. And here if the soil is fully saturated and the water level has raised up to here, so all the pores inside the sand is also filled up with water. అప్పుడు ఇక్కడ pore water ఉంటదా 1.5 meter. Okay, and here water from this tube is flowing down. So ఇలా ఇక్కడ కిందకి వచ్చి and it is entering the soil and it seeps through the upward. Okay, so ఇక్కడ నుంచి వచ్చిన వాటర్ ఇలా ఫ్లో అయ్యి పైకి వస్తుంది. See, if I keep the tap open for a quite long time, then what happens? All the water from the reservoir seeps in and then gets stagnated at the top of the soil. No, so దానే వాళ్ళు ఇక్కడ రిప్రజెంట్ చేస్తున్నారు ఇలా. Okay, so the flow is in upward direction. So I need to calculate how much is the pressure over here. So pore water pressure ఎలా calculate చేస్తాము? Water load divided by area. అదే కదా pore water pressure అంటే. అప్పుడు ఇక్కడ water load అంటే ఎంత head of water ఉందని తెలుసుకోవాలి. And we all know that the formula for calculating pore water pressure is gamma W into H. ఇక్కడ ఏమేం హెడ్ ఉంది? ఇక్కడ ఈ స్టాగ్నెట్ అయిన వాటర్ తో హెడ్ విచ్ ఇస్ 1 మీటర్. అండ్ ఈ శాండ్ లో కూడా వాటర్ ఉంటది కదమ్మా, ఈ శాండ్ లో ఉన్న పోర్స్ లోపల వాటర్ ఉంది. So that water is 1.5 meter. And see, water from the reservoir is seeping into the container. ఇది కంటైనర్ లోపల ఎలా ఎందుకు సీప్ అవుతుంది? ఎందుకు ఇది కంటైనర్ లోపల సీప్ అవుతుంది? See, సపోజ్ ఈ పక్కకు అటాచ్ చేసావు కదా ట్యూబ్, నువ్వు పక్కలో ఇక్కడ అటాచ్ చేసిన ట్యూబ్ లో సపోజ్ వాటర్ లెవెల్ ఇక్కడే ఉందనుకో, ఇక్కడ లేకుండా ఇక్కడే ఉండింది అనుకో, then will the water seeps inside this container? It will not at all seep in, because two water levels are at the same position. So రెండు water levels same ఉంటే flow నే జరగదు. హైడ్రాలిక్ గ్రేడియంట్ ఉంటేనే, డిఫరెన్స్ ఇన్ హెడ్ ఉంటేనే నీకు ఎక్కడైనా ఫ్లో జరిగిద్ది కదమ్మా. సో హియర్ ద వాటర్ విల్ నాట్ సీప్ ఇన్ ఇఫ్ ఇట్ ఈస్ ప్రెసెంట్ అట్ దిస్. But here they mention that the water is flowing in the upward direction. It means that there is a seepage. Why? In the sense, ఈ రిజర్వాయర్ ఉంది కదా, ఈ పైప్, దీంట్లో ఎంత వాటర్ లెవెల్ ఉందంటే 1.2 మీటర్ అబోవ్ కంటైనర్ కన్నా పైకి ఉంది. అప్పుడు హియర్ a head difference of 1.2 is there. That's why water is seeping in. కానీ ఈ 1.2 మీటర్ హెడ్ డిఫరెన్స్ అనేది ఎక్కడ నుంచి అంటే బాటమ్ ఆఫ్ ది కంటైనర్ లో పీజోమీటర్ ఇన్సర్ట్ చేసినప్పుడు ఇక్కడ డిఫరెన్స్ ఇన్ లెవెల్ 1.2 మీటర్ వచ్చింది. ఓకే, బట్ ఇఫ్ ఐ ఇన్సర్ట్ అ పీజోమీటర్ అట్ దిస్ లెవెల్, అప్పుడు నాకు 1.2 మీటర్ రాదు కదా, ఇక్కడ వేరే హెడ్ ఉంటది. ఎందుకని వేరే హెడ్ ఉంటది? బికాస్ ఇక్కడ హెడ్ ఇక్కడ ఎంటర్ అవుతుంది, ఒక హై ప్రెషర్ తో వాటర్ ఎంటర్ అవుతుంది లోపల. ఇక్కడ ఇది సాయిల్ మొత్తం ఎన్కౌంటర్ చేసుకొని ఏ పాయింట్ కి వచ్చేటప్పుడు 1 మీటర్ డిస్టెన్స్ ట్రావెల్ అయిపోయింది. అప్పుడు దాని హెడ్ ఏమై ఉంటది? డిక్రీజ్ అయి ఉంటది కదా. ఇట్ హ్యాస్ స్పెండ్ సమ్ ఎనర్జీ, రైట్? సో ఈ కింద నుంచి వచ్చి వాటర్ పై నుంచి ఈ కింద ద్వారా లోపల వస్తుంది. అప్పుడు ఈ 1 మీటర్ వరకు వచ్చినప్పుడే దాని హెడ్ లో కొంచెం లాస్ అయి ఉంటది. సో ఇట్ మే నాట్ బి ద సేమ్ if I insert a piezometer at the point A. అప్పుడు అక్కడ ఉన్నప్పుడు ఎంత ఉంటది? జస్ట్ a simple condition. సో 1.2 మీటర్ హెడ్ డిఫరెన్స్ ఉండిందంట. ఎప్పుడంటే if you insert a piezometer at the depth at the bottommost point of your soil layer. సో bottommost sand layer కేసినప్పుడు నీ హెడ్ ఎంత అంటే 1.2 మీటర్. సో 1.2 divided by 2.5. కానీ నీకు ఎంత హైట్ కావాలి? 1.5 మీటర్ థిక్నెస్ కే చాలు, ఎందుకంటే ఏ పాయింట్ అనేది 1.5 మీటర్ డెప్త్ లో ఉంది శాండ్ లో నుంచి. సో 1.2 divided by 2.5 is your hydraulic gradient I. Okay, so your hydraulic gradient for this condition I is 1.2 divided by 2.5. hydraulic gradient ante enti? Change in head of water between two water levels divided by thickness of your soil layer or thickness of or length of your flow travel. ఇక్కడ ఎంత దూరానికి వాటర్ ట్రావెల్ అవుతుంది? 2.5 మీటర్ లెంత్ కే కదా ట్రావెల్ అవుతుంది. సో h by l is 1.2 divided by 2.5. కానీ I z నాకు 1.5 కి ఎంత ఉంటే చాలు అంత కావాలి, అప్పుడు ఇంటూ 1.5 వేస్తున్నా. ఓకే, దట్స్ వై ఇలా అంతా గుర్తు పెట్టుకోవడానికన్నా నువ్వు హ్యాండీగా ఈ సీపేజ్ ప్రెషర్ డెరివేషన్ గుర్తు పెట్టుకున్నావు అనుకో, గామా డబ్ల్యూ ఐ ఇంటూ జెడ్ అంటే యూ డైరెక్ట్లీ గో ఫర్ 10 అంటే నా యూనిట్ వెయిట్ ఆఫ్ వాటర్, హెచ్ అంటే హైడ్రాలిక్ గ్రేడియంట్. ఇక్కడ ఎంత హెడ్ ఉంది? 1.2 డివైడెడ్ బై లెంత్ ఆఫ్ ఫ్లో ఇస్ 2.5. సో నా హైడ్రాలిక్ గ్రేడియంట్ ఎంత అని నాకు క్యాల్కులేట్ చేసిస్తాను. 1.2 డివైడెడ్ బై 2.5 ఇస్ హౌ మచ్? So 1.2 divided by 2.5. Okay, so Z is thickness under consideration, thickness of soil under consideration, which is just 1.5. Okay, so Ilana, you can substitute, or else you can substitute like this also. Okay, so am I Emma?
అంటే ఇప్పుడు అక్కడ టాప్ 1.5 మీటర్ అనేది అది సాచురేటెడ్ అనేది ఇన్వర్ట్ ఫ్లో నుంచి మ్యామ్. అంటే ఇక్కడ దీని
1.5 మీటర్ ఎందుకు తీసుకుంటున్నాను అడుగుతున్నావా?
కాదు మ్యామ్, అంటే అది సాచురేటెడ్ ఇన్వర్ట్ ఫ్లో నుంచి లేదా మ్యామ్? అంటే ఇప్పుడు దీని వల్ల
సాచురేట్ ఇన్వర్ట్ ఫ్లో వల్లనే సాచురేట్ అయింది అని అంటున్నావా?
yes ma'am.
The soil has already got saturated. సాచురేట్ అయ్యే సి ఒక కంటైనర్ ఉందమ్మా, జస్ట్
బాటమ్ నుంచి వెళ్తుంది,
బాటమ్ నుంచే వెళ్తుంది. ఓ నీ డౌట్ ఏమంటే ఇక్కడ ఉన్న సాయిల్ ఎలా సాచురేట్ అయింది అని అడుగుతున్నావా?
అదే అది ఇప్పుడు దీని వల్ల అయితే ఇన్వర్ట్ ఫ్లో నుంచి అయితే ఫస్ట్ అంటే
ఈ లోపల ఈ రిజర్వాయర్ నుంచి ఇలా ఫ్లో అయ్యే దాని వల్ల ఇక్కడ ఉన్న సాయిల్ సాచురేట్ అయిందా అని అడుగుతున్నావు.
అంటే మీరు దాని వల్ల హెడ్ డిక్రీజ్ అవుతుంది ఇప్పుడు
హెడ్ డిక్రీజ్ అయ్యింది. మా హెడ్ హైడ్రాలిక్ హెడ్ అనేది వేరు, హైడ్రాలిక్ హెడ్ అనేది హెడ్ డిఫరెన్స్. సి ఇప్పుడు ఒక కంటైనర్ ఇలా ఉందమ్మా, ఈ కంటైనర్ ఇక్కడ పక్కన ఉంది, ఓకేనా? సో ఈ కంటైనర్ ని నేను ఇక్కడ కనెక్ట్ చేసి ఉంచాను. ఓకే, సో ఇక్కడ ఎక్కడో ఒక చోట్ల ఒక పెద్ద రిజర్వాయర్ ఉంది. నాకు వాటర్ ఈ కంటైనర్ తో కింద నుంచి దీని లోపల వస్తుంది, సో పైకి వెళ్తుంది. అప్పుడు ఇక్కడ ఉన్న హెడ్ ఏమైంది? వాటర్ లెవెల్ తగ్గుతూ వస్తుందా? దీని లోపల వాటర్ పైకి వెళ్ళేటప్పుడు తగ్గుతూ వస్తుంది కదా. నువ్వు ఇక్కడ ఉన్నప్పుడు ఇక్కడ ఇన్సర్ట్ అయ్యేటప్పుడు 1.2 మీటర్ హైట్ ఉండింది అనుకో, నేను ఇక్కడ ఏదో ఒక వాల్వ్ పెట్టానమ్మా, ఈ వాల్వ్ ని నేను ఓపెన్ చేస్తాను, అప్పుడు ఏమైంది? ఇక్కడ ఉన్న నీళ్ళంతా ఇక్కడ వస్తూ ఉంటుందా? అప్పుడు ఇక్కడ ఉన్న హెడ్ 1.2 మీటర్ డిఫరెన్స్ లోనే ఉంటుందా? 0.1, సో 1.0కి వస్తుంది. దాని తర్వాత దిగి 0.9 అయ్యిద్ది, తర్వాత ఇది ఇంకా కిందకు వచ్చి 0.8 అయ్యింది. అలా వాటర్ లెవెల్ దీంట్లో తగ్గుతూ వస్తుంది కదా. ఇక్కడ నుంచి ఫ్లో జరుగుతూ ఉన్నప్పుడు అప్పుడు ఫస్ట్ వాటర్ ఇక్కడ ఎంటర్ అయ్యేటప్పుడు ఒక హెడ్ ఉంటది. సో ఇక్కడ రీచ్ అయ్యేటప్పుడు ఇక్కడ ఉన్న అన్ని సాయిల్ తో అది ఇట్ విల్ బి ఎన్కౌంటరింగ్ ఆల్ ది సాయిల్ పార్టికల్స్. సో అప్పుడు దాంతో హెడ్ అనేది తగ్గిద్ది. ఓకే, సో దర్ విల్ బి అ హెడ్ లాస్. ఓకే, ఇక్కడ వచ్చేటప్పటికి ఆ ప్రెషర్ అనేది తగ్గిపోయింది. అప్పుడు ఇక్కడ నువ్వు ఈ పాయింట్ లో నువ్వు పీజోమీటర్ ఇన్సర్ట్ చేసావు అనుకో, ఇక్కడ వచ్చిన సేమ్ 1.2 మీటర్ రైస్ అనేది రావు. దట్ ఈస్ వాట్ ఐఎమ్ ట్రైయింగ్ టు ఎంఫసైజ్. ఓకే, సో నువ్వు అడిగేది ఏమంటే ఇక్కడ ఉన్న సాయిల్ కూడా ఎలా సాచురేట్ అయ్యిద్ది అంటే, నేను ఎప్పుడో ఆ కంటైనర్ లో వాటర్ మొత్తం సాచురేట్ అయ్యి దాని పైగా కూడా కొంచెం వాటర్ పోసి నింపి పెట్టేశాను. ఓకే, లేదంటే ఈ రిజర్వాయర్ నే నేను ఎప్పుడో ఓపెన్ చేసి ఇలా ఉంచితే ఇక్కడ మొత్తం సీపేజ్ అయ్యాయి, ఇక్కడ పైగా వాటర్ స్టాగ్నేట్ అవ్వడానికి స్టార్ట్ అయ్యిద్ది కదా. ఇక్కడ నుంచి వచ్చిన వాటర్ అంతా ఈ సాయిల్ మొత్తం సాచురేటెడ్. అప్పుడు ఇది ఫ్లో ఎలాగో అప్వర్డ్ డైరెక్షన్ లోనే ఉంటది. అప్పుడు ఇవన్నీ ఇక్కడ స్టాగ్నెట్ అవ్వడానికి స్టార్ట్ అయ్యిద్ది. సో ఒక పాయింట్ లో ఏమైంది, ఇఫ్ ద కంటైనర్ స్టార్ట్స్ ఓవర్ఫ్లోయింగ్ దెన్ వాట్ హ్యాపెన్స్, ద వాటర్ విల్ ఫ్లో అవుట్. అదే ఇక్కడ అవుట్వర్డ్ ఫ్లో అని మెన్షన్ చేశారు. ఓకే, సో నేను ఇలా ఫుల్ గా ఈ కంటైనర్ ఫిల్ అయిన తర్వాత కూడా నేను దీని ఒక రిజర్వాయర్ కి కనెక్ట్ చేశానంటే ఐ విల్ గెట్ అన్ అవుట్వర్డ్ ఫ్లో. ఓకే, సో అదే కాకుండా నేను దీని ఒక రిజర్వాయర్ కి ఇన్సర్ట్ చేస్తున్నాను, ఆ రిజర్వాయర్ లో వాటర్ లెవెల్ ఇక్కడే ఉందనుకో, అప్పుడు ఏం తెలుసా అయ్యిద్ది, ఈ వాటర్ లెవెల్ నుంచి ఈ శాండ్ సెటప్ ఉంది కదా, దీంట్లో నుంచి వాటర్ లెవెల్ దీనికి వచ్చింది. ఎందుకంటే ఈ లెవెల్ హైలో ఉంది, ఇది లోలో ఉంది అంట, అందువల్ల ఇలా ఉంటది ఫ్లో. అప్పుడు డౌన్వర్డ్ ఫ్లో అయ్యిద్ది. ఓకే, సో ఈ హెడ్ డిఫరెన్స్ ని పెట్టే ఫ్లో అప్పడా డౌన్వర్డా అనేది డిసైడ్ అవుతుంది. ఓకే, సో డిడ్ ఐ క్లియర్ యువర్ డౌట్? ఓకే, we will work out 2 or 3 problems also in the next session also in relation to the seepage condition, right? ఎందుకంటే ఎఫెక్టివ్ స్ట్రెస్ అనేది చాలా సింపుల్, కానీ కొంచెం దాన్ని ఇలా ట్విస్ట్ చేసి ఇచ్చేటప్పుడు ద ప్రాబ్లం విల్ లుక్ మ్యాగ్నిఫిషియంట్. ఓకే, ఇంకా కొన్ని ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ కూడా మనం చూస్తాము.